Okay, my friends, we are just going to jump right on into this lesson where I discuss painting large shapes using shadows to get started on the drawings. Big shapes, shadows. And I'm going to do a little demo, or we're going to jump into a demo time, and you can see how I've outlined just shapes. And this is what I really want you to take away from this lesson. So we'll get started. I'll be voicing over some, and some of this is the demo. So let's just take a roll and look at this.
I block in my darks. I like to have a nice dark settled in there, but this is super thin and very loose to start. And then you can see I put the whole wash over, wiped out the sky because I wanted the light. You know, it's the lightest value there. And then pulled out where some of the dramatics are. This scene is pretty dramatic.
If you squint, you can see those dark shapes.
So this is the air color mixtures I have mixed up, because it's like the white, the ultramarine blue, and cad red light, but you can see it's a much darker value. Lighter value here. This is just some white. And then those get varied as I paint. So those are the air colors. And then this is just the white, but this is white, cad orange, a little bit of cad red light, and then it's altered just with a little bit of blue. That blue to me is atmosphere. That air color is atmosphere. So it's like I'm breathing it. Like it's around behind you, it's in front of you, it's saturating into the ground, it saturates into the trees. So I pretty much influence much of my painting with little bits of that blue. So there's just little touches of this in these highlight colors. Now, real final highlights, I probably don't put it in, but a big part of them I do. And you'll get great color harmony that way. Probably a little bit more fussiness to my drawing, but I do want you to pay attention to your drawing. Grid your canvas and do try to give yourself some important lines. Like, you know, this was important. These back here were important. Now I'm just going to be blocking this in with some bristle brushes to start. And I'm going to start, I always start with my shadow. And that's the white and the ultramarine blue and the transparent, white, ultramarine blue, and cad red light. And I got to test this. Gamsol to get started.
So the whole idea here is I am looking at the dark shadow shapes. I want to build my composition with large shapes, and I'm not breaking it up in a bunch of little colors. I may vary a little here and there with my mixture. Could be a little warmer, could be a little bit cooler, but I want to get the big shapes in. So I'm going to speed up the film a little bit so you can see how I'm just looking for the big shapes in my image and just blocking them in. I'm using a rosemary flat brush here and bristle and just looking for the dark shapes. Now I'm adding a few of those cracks and crevices just to help build the composition, because it is pretty complex. Still big shapes. I just added a little more white and cooled that temperature because it's back in the distance, but I still see this as a big shape. Even though I varied it slightly, I'm still keeping it as big shapes in my mind. This is going to help you find your way through your drawings when they're complex. Dropping in that back horizon line of the cliff back there in the distance. Now I am going to just do a little bit more to take this painting into the light section. Though it's not about dark shadows, I decided just as a little extra, I'd leave some of this in.
I just start from that point and start coming in with some of these lighter mixtures. These are the white, cad orange, cad red light, influenced with blue. And again, you see, you just have to start blocking in before you can start worrying about all that detail.
Like I said, I chose to leave in some of this of putting on some of the lighter rock, but what I want you to see is they're pretty big shapes. Even though, again, this lesson is about building composition with shadows, when I headed into the lights, they are still really big shapes. And then that is where, after you get those larger shapes, then some of the little tweaking can start, where you see I've picked up some dark shadow and I'm working a little bit into the crevices. But I'm still really thinking pretty big shapes and not getting too busy.
Keep that air color controlling the scene.
So hopefully that made sense as you look at now the drawing of those big shapes, how I went and placed most of them. Now let's look at another painting. Again, you can see those big large shapes. Let's go watch a demo where I talk about placing those shadows in. So I am starting to block in the large shadow areas of the canyon. And they're large shapes. I try to maintain them fairly large. You can see that I've done quite a bit of drawing. That's drawn on with Vine charcoal, and then I use a workable fixative to just spray over it to keep it stationary. The mixtures that I'm using here, there's a few different mixtures. Right now I'm using a white and ultramarine blue with cad red light mixed into it. Just a beautiful gray, blue, violet. And possibly once in a while I'll throw a little touch of alizarin in there to vary it. I find variation, is the key to excitement in this, opposed to just painting it one flat color. That lighter blue area is a white and a cobalt blue mixture, just worked into a little bit of the white and ultramarine with just probably a little bit more cobalt blue in it. But I just can continue on here, as you can see, following my drawing, just maintaining that shape. Same mixtures. I'm seeing the big picture right now. I don't want to get all picky and tiny little strokes. This is about the big picture. Same mixture here, but as you can see, I've dropped out some of the red and a little bit of blue, and have brought in some cobalt blue. So I'm creating a cooler blue back there, and in value, lighter as well. So there you see. Look at the large, big shapes. That's the goal to get started. It helps build better compositions. I hope you found this helpful. Remember, if you haven't subscribed, I hope you'll consider subscribing. Give me a thumbs up, and I love to hear your comments. Leave a comment below, and thanks again for joining me in the studio today.